Hey, what is going on, my fellow Sagittariuses? Butch Tarot here. I am going to do your 1 week read. It is a general read, so it may not resonate with everyone. It is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. Today we're going to be using the Everyday Witch. And with all that being said, let's get it. Universe, what message do we have for Sagittarius? What do we have for Sagittarius, Universe? All right, Sagittarius. So the first thing I have is I feel like this energy that's around you, this is someone I feel like you already have a connection with. But I feel like there's a lot, there's a lot of feelings you're going through with this person. You know, with the Ten of Swords, that feeling of defeat is the first one I feel. And we also have the Four of Swords as well, so a lot of overthinking on your part. I feel like this person went cold on you. And I feel like it really hit you hard because, I feel like this person, they told you that they loved you and all of a sudden they disappear. How can someone tell you they love you and the next moment they're gone? You know, you thought you could trust this person. You thought this was your person. You thought you had this connection. But what I see is, you believe that this person was the person you were waiting for, but it wasn't. I feel like this person, we have the Magician in reverse, that manipulator. Just like the Magician, this person, they put out front what they wanted you to see. They put out front what they wanted you to see, and they hid in the background what they didn't want you to see. I feel like this person put a lot of work in. A lot of work to deceive you here. I feel like, and I don't like to be the one to tell you this, I'm a Sagittarius as well, and I'm an optimist, but I feel like this person straight up was bullshitting you. They were in it for what they wanted. And once they got it, they were out. Like I said, that question of how can someone 1 minute tell you they love you and the next minute they disappear on you? It's simple. It's not what you want to hear, but it's simple. They didn't love you. I feel like this person doesn't love anybody. I feel like they don't even love themselves, to be honest. I feel like they're so out of balance. But that doesn't matter to this. What matters is this person, they put a lot of work into deceiving you. I feel like they lied to you. You saw potential in this because they showed you the potential. You know, they showed you what they wanted you to see. I feel like this person's very emotionally immature. With that King of Cups in reverse. This is not someone that you could ever really trust. But like I said, this person is at a balance. And it's a destructive energy this person puts out. It's the first thing I felt like when I put the cards down, this very destructive, manipulating, energy. When people are lost, is what I call it. When they're lost, when they don't know what they want, they don't know where they're going, and they don't know how to get there. I mean, like I said with the Knight of Wands, of player energy, they played you. When they're lost, and in a place like I see this person being, they can't accept love. They don't. For some, it's they don't think they deserve it. For others, they just don't. They don't want to be tied down by it. They don't understand the benefit of it. But what I do see, this is what's important for you in this read, is I feel like you're looking at the negatives instead of the positives. You're seeing this as you did something wrong, and you're overthinking this, and it's got you feeling defeated, like I said. But the answer is right there in front of you. I just don't feel like you're seeing it quite yet with the Two of Swords. The answer is you're not the problem. You didn't do anything wrong. So you can't accept the blame for this. This person, when you're lost like that, you're just destructive. Emotionally, physically, mentally destructive. You hurt other people because you're lost, and you really don't have any when someone truly loves someone, they have something to lose. This person felt like they had nothing to lose because they weren't attached. They sold you on a dream. They promised you all these things. And they made all these declarations. But they were empty. And the thing is with being lost as well, is usually when you're lost, you're not self-aware. So even if you're not necessarily trying to hurt people, you hurt people. It's like this quote I heard before. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And I feel like that's what it is with this person. They got to a place where they were important to you, but they weren't nice. I mean, this person was holding back secrets, and I feel like you were never really going to get what you wanted from this person. And like I said, there is a silver lining to this, and I know it's going to be hard to see that in this moment, or if this moment hasn't happened yet, when it does happen, the thing you need to see, the most important thing that I really want to get across that you need to see, is that there is a silver lining. And it may not be today that you see it, tomorrow, next week, 6 months from now, but you will see it. And the silver lining is that this was not the opportunity for you. This was not the person you were waiting for. Because if this was the person you were waiting for, you wouldn't be having this trouble with them. And one thing I do see, and I want to make it clear too, because sometimes we hold out hope. I'm a Sagittarius sun and moon, like I said, and I'm an optimist. I don't see this person making any changes anytime soon. And I mean, with the Six of Swords in reverse, I don't see this person changing their ways. Now, I do feel like this person is going to try to communicate with you again, but I feel like it's going to be very important to stand your ground, even though there's going to be an internal struggle. You know, I feel like there's going to be a part of you that wants to give this person another chance. You know, if this person is due another chance, they will earn it back. They won't just ask for it. Just asking for it is simple, but it's also talking. And this person did enough talking and very little action. You know, like I said, I mean, I see a lot of pain and I see a lot of reflecting coming. You know, and I do see part of the silver lining is I do see a friend or friends stepping up for you, really showing up for you with that Three of Cups. But like I said, with this person, honestly, I feel like they were promising the moon, but they had no intentions of giving it to you. You know, and I feel like they were holding you back, and it may be hard to see that in the moment. But once the dust clears, the smoke settles, you know, you'll see that opportunity that you were waiting for. It's coming. It just wasn't what you thought it was. This person was very good at, you know, it's like salesmen when they sell you some junk mobile, like a car salesman. They sell you a junk mobile and you feel like you got a deal out of it until you walk off the lot and realize what you just did. You know, some people are just good at that. They're good at manipulating. They're good at talking. They're fast talkers. Like I said, that magician energy. You know, when I'm talking about the magician, I'm just bringing up these two cards just to prove my point. You know, we have the magician and they're showing you a trick up here, but back here they're doing something, but you don't see it. You know, they're doing a lot of work back here, but you don't see it because they're like, you know, they're doing all this around here. They're grabbing your attention while doing other shit in the background. That's just what they're good at. A magician, it's sleight of hand. And like this person, it was sleight of tongue. They sold you a dream. And for some of you, I feel like you already knew what was happening. But sometimes we just want to give people the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes we see potential. And I feel like you saw potential. Like I said before, with that Page of Wands, you saw potential with this connection. Because they wanted you to. You know, they wanted you to. These type of people really get under my skin. You know, if you're lost, if you're broken, and you don't want to be fixed, then don't try to find someone. Don't interrupt someone else. Don't break someone else. You know, with this person, I mean, I got some fire. You know, we have some Gemini. You know, I'm getting some Sagittarius energy in here as well. But we also have some Scorpio, some Cancer, and Virgo. Possibly some Capricorn. Also Aquarius. I don't know if I just said that or not, but I'm feeling that as well. Like I always say, and I'm going to stay true to that, is I'm not here to sell you rainbows and butterflies and unicorns. I'm here to tell you what I see. And sometimes I don't want to tell you, but I feel it necessary to tell you because it may not resonate with everyone, but those who it does resonate with, I feel like they needed this message. You know, I feel like when I'm pulling the cards, when I'm pulling your energy, you know, it's not always going to be something I want to tell people, but I feel like it's what needs to be said. You know, sometimes I get I get these amazing reads that just, it's easy to tell you. And there's reads like this where I just don't want to, but I feel obligated to do it. Like your intuition, I'm going to tell you what I see that you need to hear. And it's not always going to be what you want to hear. But I'm a silver lining guy. I always find a silver lining in everything and anything in life. Because I have to. Because accepting a situation where there is no silver lining, that's not something I can do. When you meet someone and they hurt you, the silver lining in a very simplistic manner would be you find out who that person really is. And hopefully it's sooner rather than later. I have she's not my aunt. She was married to my uncle, but my uncle's blood, but her and my uncle were married very briefly, but I still consider her an aunt. Like, they were married and divorced before I was even born. But my mom is very close with her, so I still get to see her. And I see her quite regularly. She ended up, a few years after my uncle and her got divorced, she ended up getting married again. And she was married to that man for most of my life, about 24, 25 years. And he wasn't a nice guy. He was very good at portraying a nice guy. Like, he fooled a lot of people. I always had a feeling about him because his energy just didn't sit well with me. And that's just part of what I call my gift in life, is I feel like I can pick up people's energies very well, even when I was very young. But I always had a feeling about him. But she hid it. They end up having kids together. And after all was said and done, she had explained how she had kids with him, and she couldn't walk away. He threatened her with the kids, taking the kids from her, because she was a homemaker and he was the provider. He had a good job. But anyway, he was a miserable person to her. And the stories she would tell my mom, I remember like being there and just hearing the stories. And she said, I didn't see it coming. She said, I was with him for 5 years. We were just having our second kid when I finally saw who he was. His mask fell off. And she said, I couldn't believe it. Like, how can you be with someone for 5 years and not see who they really are? And she said, even when I saw it, I couldn't believe it. And I just thought, okay, it was a bad moment. And she said for another year or so, it kind of drifted away because she didn't see it again. And then they had their third kid. I think it was their third. And she said it was downhill from then. Absolute downhill. She said that person that I saw that one time, he came back and he lived permanently with us. And she said, I even went to church, she said, and I prayed for him because I thought like he was possessed or something, because he was he's such a different person. She said he was completely different. Like, he was a nice, fun-loving guy out in the world, golfing with his buddies, real charmer when he talked to people. But she said who he was, like when he flipped that one time, she said, I let it go because like I said, for a little bit longer after that, it wasn't like that again. He went back to who he was. And then all of a sudden, she said, he was running around on her. He was, abusive, not physically, but very mentally abusive. he would use the kids as weapons against her. He would, the things he would say to her, and it just, like I said, this didn't all come out until later on when she started telling people, because she almost felt like she was doing something wrong, that she turned him into this. But anyway, the point of the story is she was with this guy for a long time, and he completely flipped on her. But she said when she finally got the courage to leave, two of her kids were grown. The other one was old enough to make a decision who he's going to live with. And she decided but she stayed the whole relationship. She stayed with this guy and put up with all this shit because she had kids with him. And she didn't want to, he threatened her with the kids. He threatened her with this and that. And like I said, she was telling my mom all these stories, and my mom was just blown away. She said, I didn't see that in him. Because he was very good at it. He was very good at manipulating people. A lot of people didn't see it in him. Now, like I said, I always felt there was something off about the guy. I never liked him. Never did. I felt like he was very, those people that really seem to try really hard. Sorry, I'm just scratching myself. They try really hard, and sometimes even too hard. And I remember talking to my uncle, and my uncle never liked him either, but I just thought that, it was because that's his ex-wife, but I feel like sometimes we see people for who they are. But to go back to it, when she was finally walked away from, when she finally got clear of him, she would say that, I think I always knew, in those 5 years, I had little red flags, but I was just collecting them. But they were so subtle and they're so small that I didn't really put it together. And he was nice 90% of the time. So the 10% of the time, I just kind of cut him some slack. But it just goes to show you, sometimes you really don't know how far a person's willing to go. You don't really know. But that's why it's always important to be open and honest with people, and very direct, and solidify that connection with someone. Because I feel like if you hit that point when you're really connected with someone, you connect with someone on such a deep level that even their darker side comes out. You share everything about yourself with someone that you truly love, and if you plan on spending the rest of your life with them, you got to share it all with them. Because anybody can be with you on your best day. Only that right one can be with you on your worst day. Anyway, I know that guy kind of gets scattered. But be good. Take care. Stay safe.